Okay, it's Daniel and Gav here, and the Captain America Civil War trailer's just dropped. So it opens, Daniel, on...
the same location that we saw in one of the post-credit sequences in Ant-Man.
That's right, yeah.
In that sequence, we see Falcon, Cap, and Winter Soldier, and he looks like he's... well, I don't know whether he's being tortured, but this conversation kind of implies that they're unsure whether he has turned for the good.
Yeah, that's right. So I think that's a big vice, and they've got his arm in a vice.
It's like Cena.
So he can't run away, and you see like a bit of his shirt ripped on the floor there. So it seems like they captured him. Now, in the Ant-Man post-credit sequence, there's a bit of a different chat. Falcon says, we should have gone to Tony, but the Accords would never have allowed that. So the Accords comes into this trailer a little bit later. But in this, instead of having that, and instead of having Falcon talking about I know a guy, which is a reference to Ant-Man, we get a little bit of recognition from Cap and Bucky, where it seems to be that Bucky's broken out completely of this trance thing that he was in.
Of his brainwashing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Winter Soldier, very like Manchurian Candidate, he was brainwashed and used as a super assassin over the latter half of the 20th century.
Yeah.
And throughout Winter Soldier, he doesn't really recognize Cap, and at the end, does that start to break down? Especially when Cap refuses to fight him once one of the SHIELD helicarriers starts to tumble.
So what's interesting about this, and it's actually something that I hadn't sort of thought of as we go on here, is so it becomes clear then that Bucky is kind of taking the place of Nitro in the Civil War comics. So I think...
Do you think?
I think so, yeah. Because they're talking about, like, you know, some devastation that happened because of Bucky. And
But
he needs to answer for his crimes.
But what if he's being framed? Because
Right,
one of the
okay.
main theories that's circulating is that he has turned for the good.
Yeah.
And Cap's been with him since the end of Winter Soldier because he drags him out of the river.
Right.
And he's put him in hiding for the duration of Age of Ultron.
Okay.
And what if whatever's left of Hydra stages an event similar to what happens with Nitro at the beginning of Civil War? Because he says in this scene, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And they're trying to work out, were you responsible for this new atrocity?
Yeah.
The new thing that kind of topples the rest of the
so
world.
this isn't... Sorry, I thought that the stuff that we've seen is like flashbacks to stuff. You think this is new stuff?
Well, just because it's similar to some of the clothing is consistent to what we see later on.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I did put here, actually, like, there's a weird tenses, because Bucky says, I don't do that anymore. Cap says, well, the people who think you did are coming right now.
I think that's it. I
you
think
think that's what it is?
Hydra want to control the superheroes. Obviously, Hydra have their tendrils in a lot of governmental agencies.
Right.
They'll stage some kind of atrocity to turn public favour against the superheroes as kind of a pretense for pushing through the Accord agreement.
See, I read it differently. I really like that. I think that's a really good theory, but I read it differently. And
I think this is one of the atrocities.
right, okay. See, I thought we were seeing stuff that Bucky'd already done, and that it was like a flashback to some other thing. And basically, then the Bucky
But then
was
I don't
gonna
think
take...
Cap would defend him as much if he was responsible. I think that's maybe where Cap's motivation for standing against everyone comes from.
See, that's really interesting, because that's something, when I was watching this trailer, I was like, it kind of paints Cap in a bad light, because I think Bucky, all the stuff that he did do as the Winter Soldier, he should have to answer for those things.
Yeah.
Even though he was under, like, sort of brain control. So I thought he was maybe going to be taking the role of Nitro from the Civil War comics. Like, he, like, blows up and destroys a load of buildings, and that's where the sort of thing for Civil War starts.
I think looking to Civil War, the source material can be misleading, because I think this is a very liberal adaptation. I think what you get is heroes against heroes.
Yeah.
But I think it's a more freer adaptation.
Right.
So, change of location here.
Yeah.
We go from the warehouse to what, I think there's two here. These, I don't know if these are the same guys as these.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
Because, you know, it's a trailer. Shots are being pulled together from all over the place. You can't infer continuity. So I think this is a tropical location, and this kind of tropical location comes up a few times in the trailer.
You say tropical, but see that bin? There's a bin like that used to be in my school, and I grew up in South Wales.
Also a tropical location.
And it was they always had those pebble dash bins. So I always used to think it was a little bit crazy to have such a nice bin. So you say tropical, could be South Wales. Let's not rule that out.
So let's proceed upon the assumption this isn't South Wales.
All right.
This might be Wakanda.
Yes.
A lot of time was spent setting up Wakanda in Age of Ultron. We know Black Panther is in this movie. We see him in the trailer.
I think it's the same place that we see later on, because that downed soldier there, we see another soldier later on in the... We'll get to it. I think that's what that place is, yeah. So in here then, we're back in Germany.
Yes.
Polizia.
Yeah, you can see the German flag on the soldiers' arms.
Yeah.
They're not planning on taking...
So is this... Are they raiding where Cap's been keeping Bucky all this time?
Yeah, or one of the places... Yeah, do they?
Because we see Bucky and Cap there together.
Yeah.
Is this where they've been holding out? Because Bucky's got similar clothing on to when he had his arm in the vice.
That is true. Yeah, I think you're right there.
And then they're fleeing.
So then we come to a chopper going to...
Well, we don't know really where.
He doesn't know where he's going with. But then we have Thaddeus Ross talking later. Now, he's talking from wearing different clothes in a different scene than we're seeing here. And here looks like he's walking towards... Something's being guarded. This looks like it kind of maybe like can keep something there, or like there's been rumors that he said that there's going to be a very different Ross in this film. There's been rumors that maybe he might turn into his alter ego Red Hulk. Is this kind of where he turns? If it's a controlled turn?
I don't know.
It's very reaching.
Or it could be a landing pad.
Could be a landing pad.
Something like that. So this again returns to the kind of tropical location.
Yeah.
It says internet and something cafe there. Internet cafe.
And they do have the internet. That's a really good shot, Cap's ass. They do have the internet in Wakanda.
So yeah, these are these guys that we saw in that earlier shot.
Yeah.
The new Avengers building. This is where the Avengers took home at the end of Age of Ultron. It's in upstate New York. It's a facility used to be owned by Howard Stark. But it seems Thaddeus Ross has come knocking and is kind of laying down the law.
Yeah.
And he uses a big word, doesn't he?
He does. Vigilante.
Yeah.
And like just the sad music and Cap's eyes here. Can we go back? Like, I know it's only on for a second, but you can just get the sense of this is where it all changes.
Yeah, it was
like,
everything I've ever done for this country.
Yeah.
Has always been like, he has infallible motivations of everyone to accuse for taking the law into their own hands. Not this man.
Especially all the stuff that he's been through for the country as well.
Yeah.
And I think, this shot here, so this is in Spain.
Or Italy. So Bucky wearing the same clothing we saw in Germany. Has he gone on the run around Europe?
I think so, yeah. But if you look at the clothing, I don't think... From earlier, he looks really dishevelled and they're all ripped and stuff like that. That looks like it's just before they've caught him, maybe. Maybe they've tracked him here. That's the way I was thinking. That he's been on the run. Cap's been tracking him. But also...
it's interesting because I thought that maybe... Because you see them together, like he pulls Cap out of the river at the end. Maybe he has gone on the run. Yeah, he's tracked him down.
But then there's also a shot later on here where he's been shot at in that particular... in that particular scene. So here we go.
This is the Sokovia Accords. Sokovia is the fictional Eastern European city that was destroyed at the end of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And it seems like in the aftermath of that and perhaps some other unidentified disaster, the world, and that's the symbol of the UN on the front of the piece of the document, has drawn up this accord, which is the framework for the registration and deployment of enhanced individuals. Yeah. So this is the substitute for the Superhero Registration Act.
That's right, yeah. So it seems like if you look at the cast as well, on IMDb, there's a lot of sort of delegates from different countries and things like that. So we'd assume that all these people, the UN have come together and gone, we need to control this after all that we've seen. And it's interesting seeing stuff like Jessica Jones, where they keep talking about the incident and things like that. Like, it seems to be like the world is really aware of these crazy events that have gone on that have resulted in a lot of civilian casualties.
Yeah, and it seems like Thaddeus is tailoring this possibly to Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
The world can no longer tolerate.
I know how much Bucky means to you.
So I think this is in Germany again.
Okay.
I looked at that license plate. Although the form of the letters is off for a German license plate, you can see the letter D, which would identify as Germany. See,
Very
that's the
good.
kind of detail we go into here.
Yeah, that's really good, actually. Because this actually, that's interesting you say that's Germany, because...
And that's a Ford car.
That's a Ford. Is it? Yeah. I learned to drive in a Ford KA. Again, could be South Wales.
In Germany.
Stay out of this one, please.
So, the conversation here between Cap and Black Widow is like, I know how much Bucky means to you. Stay out of this one, please. You'll only make this worse. Also, if he's meant to be in disguise, that's the worst disguise I've ever seen.
That's like the disguise he uses in Winter Soldier as
It
well.
is, yeah.
That's incognito Cap, so...
Giant glasses and a massive hat.
Well, what else would you like him to wear?
Like, mustache?
No, more conspicuous.
So here we go. This is where we just saw Bucky riding through on a motorbike. Interesting that they've been surrounded. Bucky's, if you just go back slightly, Bucky's behind him here. So it's like they've tracked him. You can just see Bucky behind. Not suited up, I believe. No, he is suited up there. But interesting, Cap doesn't get his shield out. He's putting his shield away.
Yeah, but they're hopelessly outnumbered here, and he's not gonna. He doesn't want to hurt people. That's not the thing. There's that scene in a Civil War comic where he does take on some federal guards.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to do it. German license plate, Audis. Everyone in Germany drives Audis.
We know that.
So this is definitely Germany.
Okay. Here we go. So the first shot of Iron Man then, forcing his way into wherever Cap is. Is that Bucky in the background there on the stairs?
Yeah.
It's interesting that he's got a black eye here, and he says, "Captain, you seem a little defensive." I really like that.
It's the breakup.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's really sad. Like all these scenes, between Tony and Cap, like falling apart. Like it's a really sad thing to watch. Like they've built up these relationships over all these films, over all these years as well. You've actually like actual physical human out of the movie years. You spelled.
Well, and that's the killer line in the trailer. I was your friend too.
Yeah.
It breaks your heart. So this fleetingly, you can see Martin Freeman.
Oh, yeah.
And Agent 13 on the right hand side of the shot.
Yeah.
We still don't know much about his role in the movie, but yeah, there's your first
I didn't
glimpse
spot that.
of Martin Freeman in the movie.
Yeah.
Can accept limitations.
Do you think he'll look at the camera a lot?
I hope so. I hope he has Hat FM.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your
This is the thing though. This is a scene or a couple of scenes that kind of made me angry because we don't know what the Sokovia Accords are, right? But it must be something pretty severe because
We don't know the penalty. Or maybe it's just the principle of it.
yeah. But whose side are you on in this trailer?
Whose side am I on? Caps.
Are you?
Yes.
I think he's.
One of the things I like about this trailer is, we know how many characters are in this movie.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like a Captain America movie.
That's
it's
good, yeah.
anchored in that character and his emotional and psychological relationship with Bucky.
Yeah.
And that's the turning point for him. That's the screw in. And I think that's really interesting. I like that rather than just some huge spectacle.
Yeah. It's interesting that you're saying Cap because I came out of this thinking this trailer, it's interesting that it paints Cap in a pretty bad light, I thought. But then we don't know anything about
Such as the nature of ideology.
Exactly. So here, this is where I think Tony gets his black eye.
Yeah, so it feels like they've been brought in Germany after
Yeah.
that scene, and then they're having some kind of discussion.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
You see a bit of Falcon in action.
And it's a good thing, we can see the Falcon's definitely on the side. Again, rubbish disguises. But he says a really cool thing here. He was just like, I just want to make sure, we're doing the right thing because whoever shoots at you ends up shooting at me.
Yeah, and again, that continues a line from Winter Soldier. He's like, I do whatever he does, but just slower.
Yeah.
And like this thing where he's always in Cap's corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where we think all this kind of tropical stuff takes place.
So this is the Institute for Infectious Diseases.
Yeah. Would you capitalize F for an acronym? Maybe you have to sometimes. This is a location that was leaked in a lot of set photos.
That's right, yeah.
And we're thinking this maybe is Wakanda. Wakanda
Yeah.
is a very advanced technological nation. T'Challa is a great scientist. So maybe he's bound up with this institute in some way.
And if you see here, so you said at the beginning, you think those two shots of the operatives are from different places. There's the bin, the
bin.
Pebble Dash bin that could be in Wales.
It's the one bin that is in Wakanda.
Yeah. So it seems like here that he's not actually, because at first I read this and I was like, oh, he's breaking in. But actually, I think he's going to stop some kind of siege or something because there's a lot of operatives already down, which seemed like they would work at that institute. But then look at these people here. They're completely different, aren't they?
Are they stealing something? Are these the people responsible for the atrocity that they're pinning on Bucky? Are they planning another one? Are they trying to steal an infectious disease
That's a really good
and
point.
use it as a biological weapon?
See, because I think you're probably bang on there. But when I was going, if you go back, infectious diseases is quite on the nose. But maybe this is where they're holding quite a lot of the superheroes that maybe haven't registered or something like that.
Yeah,
or
because-
when they do register, this is actually where they're taking them.
Yeah, because in the Civil War there is interdimensional prisons.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they do something like that. I don't know whether. Well, it'd be interesting to see what the actual punishment for refusing registration is.
Do you really want to punch
So yeah, we see some of the teams lining up at what we think is Leipzig Airport.
Yeah.
We see that on some of the trucks. Tony and obviously Don Cheadle's War Machine.
Yeah.
your way out of this?
On
It
the
looks
other
like
side-
if you go back as well, this looks like they've actually look at the state on War Machine there.
He might have just been out in the field.
Could have been, and then look at him. It looks like they've already. This isn't the first time that they've actually gone toe to toe in this film. I don't think.
Punch your way out of this.
But maybe without suits as well. Yeah, so we see Cap's side in the shot. We've got Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and obviously Bucky alongside him.
Yeah. So you see, Bucky there is suited up, and then the next scene. So they're flying here. This is still at the airport, I think, where this fight is about to happen. But then the shot straight after is actually from earlier. Here you see him running away. So maybe this is He's not running away from those bullets. He's running away from somebody.
Yeah, they're cutting together.
Maybe that's where Cap has tracked him to, and Cap's chasing him. Like, to try
Yeah,
and track
or when
him
they're
down.
escaping from the police.
Yeah.
Um,
So here we go. You
It's
can
a cool
see,
shot.
Yeah, there's a cool shot here of Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye running away from being attacked by.
Tony's missiles, probably.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite a big thing to fire a missile at someone.
Yeah.
Like, you can slap them, but there's no coming back from a missile. Okay.
Yeah, because if a missile hits you, you're dead.
You know
Like-
a lot about missiles.
It's not like
Like, maybe
they're
some
gonna
of the
be-
heroes survive, but Hawkeye's not going to.
Scarlet Witch probably isn't going
Yeah.
to either. Like, if you get a missile on the back of the head.
Okay, so who's this chap? Brand new hero.
Black Panther, our first proper shot of him.
Age of Ultron spent an eternity setting up Wakanda
Yeah.
and his villain, Ulysses Claw, without actually saying much about the character at all, but here we go, we get a shot of Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman.
So yeah, so you've said in the stuff that Kevin Feige's been saying that he's very neutral. He's not very neutral in this trailer.
Well, we don't know. He might just showing him fighting some of the people. So Kevin Feige said he would take when discussions were taking place about Civil War and they didn't have the rights to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So we need this person, this like middleman who can kind of pass between both sides, stand neutral to all of them.
Yeah.
We need someone like Black Panther. And he's like, well, why don't we just use Black Panther?
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. And obviously, if they go to Wakanda, that's pretense for him getting involved.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you've brought it to his backyard.
I also think as well, so we see he takes down Winter Soldier pretty easily.
That's a pretty good kick.
Yeah.
And that's, if you look at like what I've read things about his fighting style, that he's, it is unsurprisingly, given the name, going to be very animalistic, a lot of like pouncing.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool move.
So here, this is the place in Germany, I think.
So
Yeah,
this
we
could,
go,
like you were saying, that shot of Bucky running was early in the film, but this looks like after the airport bit.
Yeah.
And there's Bucky running similarly.
But this is in Germany, not in Wakanda. This is if we're going back to, this being, I guess he is in Leipzig airport.
Yeah, he is. Like,
Yeah,
maybe he's
so,
come,
yeah.
hunting them down for
Yeah.
what they've done.
But I can't, are they all running away here or are they being chased? Yeah, this is first of a couple of awesome fight scenes. You see Bucky going after.
Yeah, so there's that confirmation that it is Leipzig airport.
Yeah.
Right, this is a cool shot. He's trying to rip out the arc reactor from Stark's chest.
It's like quite brutal.
Because we're unsure, like, that's another thing that this film might answer. There's a lot of speculation that Bucky's arm is made out of vibranium, the rare metal that you find in Wakanda. That's never been confirmed in the films. But in Winter Soldier, when he punches Cap's shield, which is made of vibranium, there's kind of no repercussion to Bucky.
Yeah.
So it would imply that it is vibranium, which could be a plot point.
Which I think it definitely will be, because I think we see in a second like a pretty brutal fight between. This is awesome.
This is a sad shot. So obviously at the airport. Look how far they are from the airport as well. So the battle's like stumbled out of there and kept on going. Who's done that to him?
Yeah.
They're basically like tanks, those two.
Well, we've just seen Bucky like try to put his hand through Iron Man, so presumably Bucky's done that.
Yeah, and maybe that's where he's got the idea. Is like this is how you take them down. You rip out the arc reactor.
And if you think as well, if Bucky is doing that, that would actually make Tony going after Bucky, and that being the main crux of like the argument between him and Cap. That would make it even worse, because not only does he have to go after him because he's broken these accords or whatever, he's also taken down War Machine. So it adds a really like personal level to this like fight between them, because Cap's going to want to protect Bucky because that's what he's been doing this entire time. And then when he's taken down War Machine, that just adds another level of just anger and animosity between the two of them.
Could be dead. Would they show that in the trailer? But look at that look in Tony Stark's face. Is this the thing that pushes it beyond just a ideological
That's a great
disagreement?
shot,
that takes it to another level, I think.
Yeah.
But he's my friend. So
This is such
This
a
is the line.
horrible
This is the
scene,
killer line.
I don't like. He's my friend. So was I. So this fight, right?
So this location. Where have they gone here? Is this one of the reasons why they're in Germany? Are they trying to track down the original Hydra base where Bucky was turned? Are they looking for answers? Because when you see out of this, wherever they are, like a dam, it looks like the similar alpine location to where Bucky lost his life, in inverted commas, in First Avenger.
Well, that's what I kind of think. So when one of the last times we saw Bucky, he was going to the Captain America museum. So I think maybe he's like trying to sort of rekindle his memory by going different stuff.
Yeah.
Has he gone back to the place where he fell?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, one of the
maybe?
things, definitely. And then by virtue, find out what the hell they did to him.
Yeah.
Because if I woke up 70 odd years later with a metal arm in the future, I'd want to know.
You're like, what did I do last night? Like a pretty bad apology text to send the next day. Got my alarm, what happened?
Oh, I've assassinated important political figures throughout the latter half of the 20th century.
So this is a really heartbreaking fight because they're taking him down. It's pretty brutal. They're working together to take him down.
It's a really well choreographed sequence.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But at the same time, so this is what I was thinking. So obviously, the vibranium between them, either on Bucky's arm, but definitely in the shield, has absolutely no problem taking down Iron Man. It has absolutely no problem taking down War Machine. We've seen down. Is this? I know you said Black Panther's meant to be like super neutral, but he's got a connection to vibranium. He's got vibranium claws. Is he one of the only things that can actually stop these guys? And maybe that's what sees him come back over to the side, and that's why we see him taking that, like fighting Winter Soldier.
Or feels guilt that this stuff has been allowed to get out of his country. Look at what these people have made from it. This is a brilliant sequence.
It's horrible. Because, like, Tony's just completely helpless. There is two of them, in fairness.
Yeah, they are ganging up.
Yeah.
But he does
Thor was there.
But he does have a metal suit on.
Yeah.
So, that's Captain America, Civil War.
And we only have to wait till May.